Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the 2020 NASW Branch Social Work Awards ceremony. My name is Angie Lutz, and I'm the branch chair for the NASW North Central Texas Fort Worth area branch. Our steering committee had a fabulous banquet planned for March. Like many other things this year, though, we had to put that off and adjust a little bit, so now we're here with you. So we're joining you in your bedrooms or living rooms or dens, and I know it's been a really busy season for social workers especially, so some of you might even be joining us from your offices. Wherever you are this evening, I hope that you have yourself a dinner or maybe some snacks to enjoy as we go through tonight's program. Our committee has selected some phenomenal social workers, future social workers, and community members to recognize for our 2020 awards. But before we get started with presenting our awards, I'd like to introduce our speaker for tonight. Will Francis is the Executive Director of NASW Texas. For those of you who know Will, you know he has a passion for promoting the profession of social work. I asked him to join us tonight and say a few words and give us an update on all things NASW at the state level. So without further ado, here's Will Francis.
Hello, my name is Will Francis, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Association of Social Workers Texas chapter. It is an absolute honor to have the opportunity to speak at the 2020 Fort Worth Branch Awards ceremony. I know this is probably what nobody anticipated a year or so ago, but the fact that y'all have been able to move it virtual, that y'all have been able to continue on through this incredibly challenging time is just a testament to the resiliency of social workers, the power of the profession, and the commitment that you all have to ensuring that your community, your branch, and social work in general is supported by some of the most amazing people out there. And so, really, I just want to say thank you. My hat is off to you. I am continually impressed by the work that I hear coming out of Texas social workers, and I think you all are amazing examples of that. I know how hard this has been for everyone. I know just how the adjustment to telehealth, whether you're clinical or not, the adjustment to working from home, having kids at home, maybe having a partner at home who maybe used to be out of the house and now having to share that space. Those of you who still had to go to work and deal with PPE and deal with some of the challenges and very real anxiety and fears around safety for you all. All of this is just such an amazing time. And again, y'all have done so well. And in this video I'm going to share, hopefully I can tell you a little bit about what NASW has done and where we plan to go from here. You know, COVID for me is very interesting. 6 months ago feels like 6 years ago. Really, it feels like pre-COVID was just this different person in this different world. And I think for me, it all started. Really, I was in El Paso back in early March at a conference presenting a little symposium there. And I remember the day when the NCAA canceled their postseason tournament and the NBA canceled their season, and Tom Hanks got COVID. And when all of those things happened, I thought, this is a big thing. Um, and, you know, I slightly jest, but it's really sort of what happens when the ripples reach the rest of the world. And that, for me, was when it reflected back that this is a large challenge coming down the pike for our country. And I remember I got on some emails and some phone calls with the branch chairs and said, you all have to cancel in-person events for a while. And the pushback I got was not from, oh, we can do this safety. It was, what do you mean? How big is this? And there was some uncertainty across the board, across Texas. It was the right decision to make. We've taken our own conference virtual, but it was a hard decision. And it's interesting too, because Texas is so big and we've seen such difference in how different communities have responded. Have urban areas been hit harder than rural? Have different parts of Texas been had it more of a challenge? Yourself, when you go to the grocery store, do you see people in masks? Do you not? How does all that reflect back on what is our leadership doing both at the state and national level in response to this. And I just want to say that I've seen social workers step up so well. We as an association put together a COVID resource page really quick. It's still there. We still update it. A lot less updates now, but a whole lot of really good beefy information if you're interested. You can find that on our website pretty easily. But I remember we first started putting stuff on there, and it was like almost hourly. It was just, okay, here's a new set of rules we need to think about, or hey, here's some self-care information, or hey, this is what's happening in another state, or here's a template you can use if you need to talk about what it means to take your clients virtual, and all that just came down so fast. Um, Telehealth, I think, was probably our biggest step up in the very beginning. From a clinical standpoint, we got in touch with the governor very early, ensured that telephones would be reimbursed, that pay parity with in person visits would be a part of the picture, and that platform provider choice would very much be allowable. Very, very happy that we got with our partners. NASW drafted the letter that they signed on within days. The governor had agreed to that waiver, and while it just expired, a new one is now in place that keeps a lot of those rules there, although the telephone piece is not there, and a lot of it is sort of voluntary and trying to figure out what that all looks like. But that showed us what I think we need for next session. And so that'll be one of our big pieces that we really fight for from a clinical standpoint is how do we keep telehealth as part of the landscape for those who want it. I know that there'll be many people who want to come back into the office, both on the provider side and on the client side, and who value that in-person connection deeply. And we want to support that immensely. We think we should always have that as an option and an opportunity, but you can't necessarily reset the clock with COVID. And I think you will see people who both feel more comfortable, people who have been able to reach out and extend their radius on where their clients are, and we want to make sure that they're supported as well. And from a non-clinical standpoint, I had so many people ask me, well, I'm an LMSW, what can I do? And how do things look for me if I'm trying to balance in-person and telehealth, but I don't have the PPE equipment, and I have concerns about my own family is maybe at risk. And that was something that I've been doing an amazing amount of advocacy on and continue to do, which is supporting people with a knowledge of the rules and the statutes as needed, and then helping them as they talk to their supervisors or as they talk to their organizations about just what's best for everyone, both the clients and themselves. So, COVID sort of just came, took up all the space in the room. We adapted, we adjusted, and then midway through, George Floyd was murdered. And we saw that racism, which has always been a part of the fabric of our country that we've had to address and look at and see how we change, reared its big old ugly head for people who hadn't been paying attention to it. I don't want to minimize that racism was hiding because it was very much here, and for persons of color, we know that their experiences are very much of the daily occurrence. But it really stepped into, I think, the national conscience in a way that was pretty profound. And everyone has had to look in that mirror and determine where are they and what about the systems they work in. So as we now talk about defund the police, and as we see a president who says that, I want to take anti-racism training off the table for federal workers, or I want to ensure that if schools talk about racism in the fabric of history, that it's only done in a certain whitewashed way. I mean, these are amazing discussions, and we've got an election coming up pretty soon, and it's not necessarily for the soul of this country, is potentially for the identity of this country, and who are we, and what do we believe in, and what do we value when it comes to decency as people, when it comes to accountability, when it comes to equity, when it comes to understanding that the systems that we may love and that we may want to see improved came from places where they were pretty exclusive to white people and have had pretty negative consequences for many people of color. And can we say that and not flinch back from it, but allow that to say, well, then where does change come? And sometimes change comes inside the system. We have a public education system in the United States that needs to change and needs to grow and get better, but can potentially remain in place. At the same time, we have a criminal justice system that maybe needs to be much more drastically rethought. And we need to say there are opportunities to utilize law enforcement and police officers, but there's also opportunities to utilize social workers and potentially nurses and others and peer support specialists and really engage by utilizing the community voice in a much more powerful way than we're doing now. And again, these are discussions that we as an association are having. We are fighting very strongly for voting rights. We just came out with our list of endorsed candidates, the largest ever. We're doing our own diversity work as an association. We've always had that as part of the strategic plan, but we now have a diversity analysis committee, which is really going to look at what does membership look like as it reflects on the larger number of social workers, and especially social workers of color in this state. And what do our own leadership numbers look like? And how do we pick bills? And how do we go and tell other people that we need to make sure that their work is equitable if we're not doing that reflecting back in the mirror ourselves. And so that's a big part of where NASW is going to stay. Over the pandemic, we've put out tons of webinars. Real Series put out a webinar on, pardon me, on policing and education and social determinants of health for people of color. We had a very early webinar on students and where things were heading for them. We had webinars on many sort of issues related to telehealth and whatnot. And we really think that that's a way that we can get voices together, get people the knowledge that they need, and make sure that everyone really has the opportunity to go forward as strong as possible. And then, I apologize. The allergies in Austin are, well, they're here as the temperature changes. The other big piece, and something that I think we've fought and will continue to fight hard on, is the licensing board. My joke, and this is a joke, is that calling the licensing board a dumpster fire is an insult to dumpster fires. And I don't mean that as criticism on the people who work there. They really are trying hard. And I don't mean that as sort of this just blatant attack on the state itself. They're working the hardest they can, but they've been underfunded. They've had bad resources. They've not focused on this board in a long time. We have a new agency, the Behavioral Health Executive Council, which is going to institute some structural changes, which will be really, really positive. But at the end of the day, they have not had the tools they've needed. So as we go into legislature, that's one of the big things we're going to do. We're going to fight for more money for our board. We retain about half our fees. We want that to be a lot bigger. We're also going to be fighting again for telehealth, for school social work services. We're going to have our voice involved in what defunding the police looks like, and how can we do that in a way that recognizes the value that law enforcement brings while still seeing what some of those community choices are. We really have an understanding that we need pay parity within Medicaid. We need some of those other pieces. So I really recommend that you go online, take a look at our legislative agenda. We have a new Twitter, NASW Texas Advocacy, which is all going to be focused on that. We're going to be reaching out to our members and asking you all to get your voices involved. And so we really do need you. And that kind of brings me to my last piece. I know many of you, since you're at this award ceremony, are members, but we do want to make sure we grow that. And we want to make sure that we grow diversity in our membership. I would love to see social workers across the ages, across gender identities and sexualities and ethnicities and races and political ideologies and all of the sort of things that make us those differences that we bring together to say we may not all think alike, we may not all vote alike, we may not all look alike, but we all believe in the value of social work. And so there's about 26,000 or so licensed social workers in Texas, and a little over 5,000 are members. I'd love to grow that. I'd love to be able to go to the Capitol and say we have 25, 30%, 40, 50% of the social workers in Texas behind us as an association, and we move on their guidance, we move on their voice, and we harness and utilize their power for change. I hope you all have a wonderful award ceremony. Again, one of the things about COVID is I get to talk to more people. It's not necessarily in person, and it's often through the small screen like this, but it's a way, hopefully, to let you all see that we're doing work on your behalf, that we want you to work with us. We have so many opportunities in our equity committees and other leadership roles. Please get involved. I can't do this alone, and I wouldn't want to do this alone. I have a unique voice to who I am, and sometimes that needs to sit back, and I need to let other voices be promoted and amplified, and take this association where we want it to go. Probably 2021 can't get here quickly enough, and I say that now, and who knows what the future brings. But what this year has done is make us all stronger. It has made us all grow in ways we never thought we would, and it has hopefully prepared us for what lies next. And I want to thank you for being social workers, for being parts of your community, for being parts of NASW, for being amazing at all the things that you do, and for helping me hopefully be better at what I do. So please take care. Have a wonderful ceremony. Thank you again for letting me have this little bit of time to talk.
Thank you so much, Will. I totally agree that 2020 has stretched us, made us grow, and made us stronger. And that goes so well with our theme this year of Social Workers Generation Strong. If any of you are interested in getting more involved in NASW at the local level or the state level, please don't hesitate to contact me or Tiffany Booker, who is our branch representative for the NLIC committee. NLIC stands for Nominations and Leadership Identification Committee. Part of Tiffany's role is to identify members who are committed to advancing the social work profession, advocating for social workers, and promoting sound public policy, and then recruiting those members into leadership positions. Another part of her role as the NLIC representative is to coordinate the nominations process for our annual awards and identifying nominees and helping with the selection committee process. So Tiffany will be presenting several of our awards this evening, along with our former NLIC representative, Kristen Reuter. Kristen was our NLIC branch representative at the time our award ceremony was originally scheduled in March for our annual banquet. And so they're going to be tag teaming a little bit tonight, presenting information about each of the awards. And then we have some branch members and steering committee members who will be introducing our award recipients. So thank you to each of you, to all of you who have helped to put tonight together. You've been a huge help, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And now I will hand it over to them to present the first award of the evening. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiffany Booker. I'm the NLIC representative for the North Central Texas Fort Worth area branch. The first award of the night is our Media Award. The NASW established the Media Award to honor a member of the media who has made outstanding contributions in print, radio, television, or online publications that provide information to the general public. The award winner is not a social worker. However, the award recipient must demonstrate leadership in their respective media area by accurately portraying the social work profession and the issues of concern to social workers. Increase the understanding, awareness, and values of the social work profession to the general public. Exemplify social work values and ethics. Effectively communicate the impact of policy decisions on the lives of Texans, as well as use social workers as resources for articles and/or reports. Introducing the recipient of our 2020 Media Award is Frances Loftus.
Good evening. I am Dr. Frances McAfee Loftus, and I am a licensed clinical social worker with AssureSource and nominated our next award recipient. I am honored to introduce to you the recipient of our 2020 Media Award, Mr. Bob Ray Sanders. Mr. Sanders is the Director of Communications for the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce. He was born and raised in Fort Worth. After graduating from the University of North Texas in 1969, he was one of the first 3 African American reporters to be hired by the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. He is known as a trailblazer in North Texas journalism. He used his position as a reporter assigned to the Tarrant County Courthouse to inform the people of Fort Worth about the discrimination in our judicial system. He soon began working in television, where he climbed the ladder of success to become the vice president of KERA Dallas. While at KERA, he played a significant role in developing the well-known Newsroom program, which educated the Dallas-Fort Worth area on civil rights issues in our local communities. He returned to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram as a columnist, where he continued with his mission to publish stories impacting minorities throughout the Metroplex. In 2019, he was featured in the Titletown, Texas documentary about the Gainesville State School, a juvenile correctional facility, additionally noting their football program. In the documentary, he highlighted the risk factors in the environment that could impact student outcomes. Mr. Sanders is a true advocate, and we are privileged to honor him this year for demonstrating social work values and social work ethics through his work in our community. Congratulations, Mr. Sanders.
Mr. Sanders sent acceptance remarks. He said, "While I really don't feel worthy, I must say that I am truly grateful and most honored to be the recipient of your 2020 Media Award. Please pass along my appreciation to the members of the National Association of Social Workers and let them know that I am humbled by the organization's recognition. Thank you."
Congratulations, Mr. Sanders, on being our 2020 Media Award recipient. Our next award is the Public Citizen of the Year Award. The National Association of Social Workers established the Public Citizen of the Year Award to honor an outstanding member of the community whose accomplishments exemplify the values and mission of the profession of social work. The award winner is not a social worker. However, the awardee must make a significant contribution to an area of or population of concern to the social work profession, such as at risk of vulnerable populations, quality of life in communities or social issues, act with courage, demonstrate outstanding leadership, exemplify social work values and ethics. One of the steering committee members, Gretchen Ward, will now introduce the recipient of our 2020 Public Citizen of the Year Award.
Hello, my name is Gretchen Ward, and I am a member of the NASW Texas Fort Worth Branch Steering Committee. I am honored to introduce you to our Public Citizen of the Year, Mr. Ernie Moran. Mr. Moran is a Fort Worth teacher and activist who founded Patriots for the Children, a grassroots group protesting the oppressive immigration policies and inhumane conditions at the border. In June 2018, Mr. Moran started weekly protests outside of Kay Granger's office near South University and Old University in Fort Worth, advocating for families at the border and asking for changes to the immigration policy. He and other protesters committed to showing up to protest the policies every Friday for over a year. We admire him for his leadership and dedication to advocating for social justice. We are privileged to honor Ernie Moran for demonstrating social work values, ethics, and skills through his work in our community.
I want to start by thanking the NASW Fort Worth Area Branch for this surprising and touching award. I'm incredibly honored to be recognized alongside such wonderful social workers and students, but to be mentioned in a ceremony with the likes of Q Phillips and the legendary Bob Ray Sanders leaves me almost speechless. As a little boy growing up, going to church with my mom on Sundays, I learned the importance of concern for others. When my parents enrolled me in a Jesuit school, I was taught that turning that concern into action was essential. Service for others became a cornerstone of how I was going to live my life. As a journalist for 13 years, I tried every day to serve the Fort Worth community by making sure they were getting the news that truly mattered and not just the headlines that had people talking. A change in career led me to education. As a teacher for 8 years in a poor, mostly immigrant community, I saw my work day in and day out as including advocacy for my students and their families. I saw myself in those students, as I too am the child of immigrants. The last few years, that idea of turning concern into action led me to organizing in the hopes of helping migrant families vilified at our southern border. As a parent myself of 3 beautiful children, I know that my wife and I would do anything for their sake. And to know that these children, who otherwise would have ended up in classrooms like mine, were being treated in the most inhumane of ways, well, I knew I had to act, and that turned into a leadership role of sorts, mostly by accident. Since then, I've attempted to seize any opportunity to speak out and act for marginalized communities, whether that be racial equity in education for Black students or integration of bilingual students, whether at City Hall or at a school board meeting, whether marching in the streets or outside the office of my member of Congress. I don't know any other way to be. And for that, I have to thank my mom and dad. I also want to thank my wife, Rebecca, who has watched me get more involved and has supported me all along the way. The good book says that faith without works is dead. So thank you very much for this award, but I still have work to do. Thank you again for this honor.
Our next award is the Public Elected Official of the Year Award. The NASW established the Public Elected Official of the Year Award to honor outstanding service and contributions of an elected official who has shown leadership in the formulation of public policy, particularly policies that affect social justice, healthcare, education, civil and human rights, and social practice. The award recipient must be an elected official serving at the time of nomination in public office at the local, state, or national level. They must make a significant contribution to public service while in office, demonstrate leadership in advancing public policy in the area of vulnerable populations, civil and human rights, or social welfare, demonstrate leadership on behalf of the protection and advancement of social work practice, as well as exemplify social work values and ethics. Steering Committee member Erica Castillo will be introducing our 2020 Public Elected Official of the Year Award recipient.
Greetings, my name is Erica Castillo. I am the Communication Committee Chair of our Steering Committee. Our Public Elected Official of the Year Award goes to Quentin Phillips. Mr. Phillips is the second Vice President for Fort Worth ISD Board of Education, representing District 3. He currently serves as a member of the Race Equity Committee, aiding in formulating racial and equity policies for the district. He is also a member of the Race and Equity Task Force for Earning Learning Allowance. Mr. Phillips also served Fort Worth ISD as a member of the Citizen Oversight Committee and is a board member for Minority Leaders and Citizen Council. He served as a steering committee and advisory council member for Paul Lawrence Dunbar Young Men Leadership Academy for Fort Worth Independent School District. Mr. Phillip is the founding partner of Community Frontline, a nonprofit organization designed to offer solutions to community issues. We are privileged to honor Mr. Quentin Phillips for demonstrating social work ethic, values, and skills for his work in our community. Congratulations.
National Association of Social Workers, the Fort Worth branch. Thank you so much. It really feels special when you get an award from home, right? So in two ways, this is home for me. So I graduated from Prairie View A&M University with a degree in social work, so I'm a social worker too. So when your own give you an award, it just really means so much more. And then of course it's home because it's Fort Worth. Everything I do is for Fort Worth. I'm trying to make sure that we represent our city well. I'm trying to make sure the people in our city are taken care of. And I know that's what you do on a national level and right here in Fort Worth. So people say that being elected official is a thankless job. You have made sure that that's not the case because you have given me such a big thank you here that I cannot even believe. Elected official of the year is not even within my wildest dreams because I do what I do to serve people, to serve young people, and that's it. So the fact that anyone recognizes that in any way is truly humbling. I cannot thank you enough. Anything that I personally can be doing for you to make sure that we're fighting together, you let me know, consider it done, and I'm so very grateful for this honor. So please enjoy your evening. Thank you so much, and I am forever grateful.
Congratulations, Mr. Phillips. Our next two awards are the Social Work Student of the Year Awards. This award honors a student member of the NASW of Texas who is enrolled at least half-time in a graduate or undergraduate social work program during the year of the award and has made an outstanding contribution to the goals and mission of the profession. The recipient must be a member in good standing who demonstrates at a beginning level leadership, commitment to social justice, the profession of social work, and to clients, and integration of social work knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. This year, our branch is awarding one BSW Student Award and one MSW Student Award. Gretchen Ward will introduce our BSW Student of the Year, and Blanca McGee will introduce our MSW Student of the Year.
Hello, my name is Gretchen Ward, and I am a member of the NASW Texas Fort Worth Branch Steering Committee. It is my honor to present to you our BSW Student of the Year Award recipient, Ms. Takia Green. Ms. Green attends TCU, is a first-generation college student, and is the Vice President of the Student Social Work Association, SASW, at TCU. She has also taken on a new leadership role as the TCU NAACP President. She is actively engaged in projects and initiatives focused on improving conditions for underserved students on TCU's campus. She led an initiative to establish a TCU scholarship for minority students to support TCU's diversity and inclusion initiatives. She and her group members met with key stakeholders on campus, including diversity educators, faculty mentors for students of color, program directors, and high-level administrators to assess the need for and possible implementation challenges of such a program. She also presented at an open forum in the TCU Senate chambers. Her professors describe Ms. Green as someone who exhibits a level of professionalism and maturity that is not often demonstrated at the undergraduate level. Ms. Green is a McNair Scholar and designed a research study to understand disparities in access to play and youth development opportunities for minority girls in the Fort Worth community. In addition to all of this, she also volunteers at Kinderfrog School, the laboratory school on the TCU campus for children with and without disabilities. We are privileged to honor Ms. Takia Green for demonstrating social work values, knowledge, skills, and leadership as an amazing social work student.
Hello, my name is Takia Green, and I am a BSW senior at Texas Christian University. I am both honored and humbled to be able to accept the award as BSW Student of the Year granted to me by the NASW Fort Worth Tarrant County branch. There is no exact composition of words to express how supported and uplifted I feel to be recognized in the field. Glory to the Most High for stirring up a passion inside of me to be able to advocate on behalf of others. This recognition is a reflection of His light shining through me. I would like to express my gratitude to all those involved in granting me this award. I truly appreciate you being a part of my journey and creating an atmosphere for me to shine. I would like to leave you all with my daily reminder, a quote I have instilled for myself. It's the little things that empower our purpose, so be illuminated in your pursuit of life. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Blanca Sanchez McGee, and I have the pleasure of introducing our MSW Student of the Year, Ms. Jasmine Gaines. Ms. Gaines is a student at UTA. She is an outstanding student and advocate. She is an educator and holds degrees in education, but not long after being a teacher and a principal, she began to reflect on her role in the schools and decided that the best career would be as a social worker, since she wanted to impact students' lives. Jasmine is also an advocate for social change and is an active member of NASW's REAL Committee. This committee stands for Race, Equity, Accountability, and Leadership. A leader she is. She is helping to advance race equity in her community and in the social work profession. We are privileged to honor Ms. Jasmine Gaines for demonstrating social work values, knowledge, skills, and leadership as a remarkable master's social work student.
It is truly an honor to be receiving an award from such an amazing organization that has made such positive impacts within the social work profession. Thank you, NASW. This is truly amazing. I would also like to thank UTA. While I was there, I was aligned with so many people, especially my professors, who truly cared about their students and their success. I find myself using the knowledge that I learned from UTA on a daily basis, so thank you so much. I would also like to thank my friends and family for their continuous support. I would not have been able to get through another program without them. So thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would love to give a shout out to Mrs. Blanca McGee. She has been a lifesaver, a support system, an encourager. I wouldn't have been able to do it without her. She supports me in so many ways she doesn't even know. So I would like to thank her as well. I'm so excited to have graduated and to start my career in social work. Thank you so much, NASW.
We just have 2 awards left for the night, and you will not want to miss these. Our next award is the coveted Social Worker of the Year Award. This award honors a member of the National Association of Social Workers who exemplifies the best of the profession's values and achievements through specific accomplishments. In honoring the Social Worker of the Year, NASW highlights superb accomplishments in the practice of social work. The recipient must be a member in good standing who advocates for clients, makes a demonstrable contribution in social policy, social work practice, program development, administration, and research, demonstrates outstanding leadership, contributes to a positive image for the social work profession, and takes risks to achieve outstanding results. Angie Lutz will introduce our 2020 Social Worker of the Year recipient.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Our 2020 Social Worker of the Year Award goes to Dr. Netta Elias Lambert, the MSW Program Director at TCU. She's phenomenal and she has done a lot, so I'm asking you all to bear with me as I refer to my notes because I don't want to miss anything and I want you to know everything that she's been up to lately. So Dr. Netta Elias Lambert is a member of the Advisory Committee for the Women and Gender Studies Department at TCU. She serves on the CSWE Council on the Role and Status of Women in Social Work Education. She's an inaugural Diversity Administrative Fellow for the School of Interdisciplinary Studies at TCU, where she works with faculty from across the college on promoting more inclusive teaching practices. And she's an advocate for students as she continues to search for more additional funding for tuition waivers and scholarships for students at TCU. She's worked with the students at TCU to bring Take Back the Night to the campus for 4 years with a goal to raise awareness about sexual violence on college campuses. That provided a space to give students a voice in changing the culture on the college campus and in the community. She developed the Bystander Intervention Program for the TCU campus, which was developed to provide participants with the knowledge and skills to act by standing up and saying something when they witness conditions that perpetrate any kind of violence, so sexual violence, racism, heterosexism, and sexism. And the goal of the workshop is to help all community members feel empowered to change current community norms. This led to her role as the Faculty Bystander Intervention Program Coordinator, where she was able to work with the academic deans from across the university and have faculty come to all of her workshops. Many of those faculty then went on to attend the Train the Trainer workshop, so they were then able to facilitate the workshops, which further spread the message across the university. And then she's facilitated these workshops in the community as well. So she's facilitated those to TCU Women, to the Junior League of Fort Worth, to the American Airlines Allied Pilots Association. And this just continues to educate those even outside of TCU about the importance of standing up for others. So we are truly honored to present Dr. Netta Elias Lambert with the Social Worker of the Year Award for the Fort Worth branch of NASW. We would love to recognize her outstanding achievements and contributions to the social work profession, to all of those future social workers at TCU, and to our Fort Worth community. Thank you so much, Dr. Netta Elias Lambert.
Hello, I am so honored to receive the NASW 2020 Social Worker of the Year Award. It means so much to me that this recognition is from our professional social work organization because I truly identify as a social worker through and through. The test to me is when I am on an airplane and the person sitting next to me asks what I do. I always say that I am a social worker first, and then if we keep talking, I let them know I am a faculty member as well. I have been fortunate throughout my career to have amazing mentors who have helped shape me as a social worker. When I first began working in the field of gender-based violence and took a job at a rape crisis center, I worked with several amazing social workers who helped me hone my passion for education and prevention work and encouraged me to pursue my MSW. While pursuing my MSW, I engaged with several wonderful faculty mentors who helped me see that I could expand my passion for education and combine it with my passion for social work by pursuing my PhD to then help educate future social workers. Currently, in my role as a faculty member at TCU, I still have amazing mentors who support and encourage me to always be social justice minded and student centered in all that I do. Due to that mentorship, I have learned the skills to be an effective mentor and work to mentor my students in the same way. I love working with our social work students both in the classroom, on community projects, and on research projects. I love being a social worker and feel very fortunate that I have had so many great opportunities in my career. Thank you again for this wonderful honor. I greatly appreciate it. I encourage everyone to go out today and do one positive thing for someone in your circle. Thanks again.
Our final award for tonight is the Lifetime Achievement Award. Each year, NASW selects a social worker for this award to celebrate a lifetime of achievement. In honoring the Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, NASW recognizes the best social work values and accomplishments demonstrated in the social worker's lifetime career. The award recipient must be a member in good standing who meets all criteria for the Social Worker of the Year award and demonstrates repeated outstanding achievements, as well as one who has recognition beyond the social work profession, one who has made contributions of lasting impact, and one with outstanding creativity. Blanca McGee will be introducing our 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient.
Hello, everybody. My name is Blanca Sanchez McGee, and I have the pleasure of announcing our Lifetime Achievement Award for 2020 goes to Dr. Lynn Jackson of TCU. Dr. Jackson is a mentor, she is a friend, and for us social workers, she is our hero. Dr. Jackson has over 30 years of professional social work experience working in numerous practice settings, including with offenders, children in crisis at mental health units, and older adults in home health and long-term care settings. Dr. Jackson has been a member of NASW since 1983 and has served in many roles with NASW Texas, including as president, president-elect, delegate assembly representative, and the chair of the NASW Texas Conference Planning Committee. She collaboratively developed a Student Leadership Institute through NASW to give students an opportunity to grow their skills. She has also served as a member of the steering committee and as a branch chair for the North Texas Fort Worth area branch of NASW. Our branch is better because of Dr. Jackson. Dr. Jackson has a proud history of volunteerism, including terms on the boards of the National Network of Abortion Funds, the Texas Equal Access Fund, the Leon County Humane Society and Health Services of North Texas, and countless others. She currently serves on the College and Career Committee of the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas and on various committees at Texas Christian University. Dr. Jackson has been recognized with multiple honors and awards for her efforts as a volunteer, citizenship, leadership, teaching, and social responsibility. Among these are the distinctions as Women's Health Hero and recognition by the CSWE Women's Council of Mentorship. Most recently, she was nominated for the TCU Social Work Department's Dean's Teaching Award. And most prestigiously, she has won the Texas Lifetime Achievement Award in social work. Dr. Jackson has an exceptional history of being an amazing educator, and her contributions leave a lasting impact on those whom she teaches, supervises, and mentors. Dr. Jackson is skilled at organizing learning opportunities that extend beyond the classroom, and these are often the opportunities that allow students to truly apply what they are learning in the classroom. In her role as the Director of Field Education in the Department of Social Work at TCU, Dr. Jackson has created and sustains productive partnerships with over 50 social service agencies to ensure that students have optimal field opportunities. She also mentors adjunct faculty to ensure that they are knowledgeable and feel supported. Dr. Jackson has been extremely engaged outside of the classroom. In her role as the Assistant Dean for Strategic Initiatives, she oversees the IPE initiatives for the college, promoting interprofessional education, learning opportunities for students in both the department and the college. Dr. Jackson partners TCU with other universities to bring students from different professions together to learn from one another. Dr. Jackson is also the key faculty on a Human Resources Services Administration Geriatrics Workforce Enhancement Program grant, where interprofessional teams from healthcare organizations develop and implement quality improvement projects for older adults. No matter what Dr. Jackson is currently working on, she dedicates herself fully, her time, her energy, and ingenuity to supporting and educating students and colleagues, thus furthering the profession. Dr. Jackson's legacy will continue to pave the way for the social work profession. We are privileged to honor Dr. Jackson for the lifetime of work and the many individuals she has impacted throughout her career. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Blanca. We are so excited that Dr. Jackson not only was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for the NASW Fort Worth branch, but was also given this honor at the state level through NASW Texas chapter. She sent in some words of thanks to the branch. I'm going to read those to you all, and then we're going to see her acceptance video. Dr. Jackson wrote in, "Dear North Central Texas NASW Fort Worth branch, thank you for the honor of awarding me the NASW Lifetime Achievement Award for our branch. Calling myself a social worker and being a part of our profession has always been so important to me. I was fortunate to have a long career as a community social worker and then lucky to have made my way to Texas to start a new chapter in academia. Along the way, I have had the great pleasure of working with so many social work colleagues, any number of whom could also get this award. I have also loved being able to mentor young social workers, whether it was in the small nonprofit I was working in or working with students through field education. Being a professional social worker has afforded me opportunities to be there when people needed me, to help make a difference in people's lives, and it has at times helped me to elevate my voice for our profession or for the vulnerable people that we work with. I want to thank the Fort Worth branch again for this honor. I also want to thank TCU Department of Social Work for supporting my work in NASW, and I have to say thank you to my husband, who has always been my biggest supporter." Here's Dr. Jackson.
So honored to receive the 2020 NASW Texas Lifetime Achievement Award. The award means a lot coming from our professional organization and my fellow social work colleagues. 2020 marks my 40th year in the social work profession, and I think the theme of social workers, Generation Strong, is perfect. I've been fortunate to have great social work mentors throughout my social work education and career. My MSW health and social work professor was the first person that ever suggested that I might be a good social work educator and encouraged me when I had some experience to apply to teach as an adjunct instructor. Later, it was my LCSW clinical supervisor who encouraged me to apply for a full-time field faculty position, which led me back to school to pursue a PhD. Now I'm the director of field education at TCU, hopefully inspiring the next generation of social workers to get out into our communities to make change. I've also had terrific supervisors in my career who helped me to learn what I needed to be a good social worker and encouraged and showed me what it meant to give back to our profession. One way was by encouraging me to supervise students as a field instructor, and another was by teaching me how to mentor so that I could hire young social workers when I was in a hiring role, and where I could provide mentoring and guidance as they started their career, similar to what I had received myself when I started in social work. When I moved to Texas 15 years ago to start my first full-time academic job at UNT, I didn't know anyone in the community, and I was worried I wouldn't have anyone to come speak to my classes. I turned to NASW and met terrific colleagues at the NASW branch meetings in Denton who were more than happy to come speak to my classes and who later encouraged me to run for my first NASW position. This is where I learned of the opportunities for students to be involved in NASW and then encouraged my students to run for student board representative, both nationally and at state. Now, a former student of mine, Seth Mobilio, will step into a role I held just 2 years ago, president of NASW Texas, and I could not be more pleased as I know he will do a great job. I love being a social worker, and I've been fortunate to have had so many opportunities to be involved with our profession and NASW. While I wish we could all be together to celebrate, it's not possible at this time, and I look forward to when we can all be together again, hopefully at the next NASW conference. Thank you again for this honor and lifetime award. I can't believe I'm getting this award at only age 30.
Wow, what a fabulous group of award recipients. Thank you to each of you for sharing this evening with us tonight. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about all of the amazing things that our award recipients are doing in our community. Please be thinking about nominations for our 2021 branch awards. As you know, the end of 2020 will be here before we know it. If you are a current NASW member, thank you so much for investing in our professional organization to advance our profession and to provide advocacy for all of us and our clients and populations that we serve. Like we said before, if you want to get more involved, please reach out to Tiffany Booker. Her contact information is in each of our branch newsletters, which we email out. We have at least one of those a month, often more. If you're not getting those, then please let us know. Those are for current members. If you are not a current member and you are interested in joining, you can go to socialworkers.org/membership and have all of the information there as far as membership costs, benefits at the national level, but also know that there are additional benefits at the state level. The Texas chapter provides additional benefits. Our branch provides additional benefits that won't be listed on the national NASW website. So the Fort Worth branch, we are committed to providing several networking events every year and several CEU events every year. Please be on the lookout for the branch newsletter that'll have details about both of those upcoming events. I'd like to thank each of our sponsors, and I want to give a special shout out to the communications team at UTA School of Social Work for partnering with our branch to make this virtual awards celebration possible. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing night. Thank you again for each of you for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.
UTA School of Social Work was approved by the state legislature in 1967 and has been educating leaders in the North Texas region for more than 50 years. We are proud of our commitment to community advocacy and social work education. During this unprecedented public health crisis and pandemic, we are proud of the work our graduates are doing every day as essential frontline workers. With our PhD, MSW, and BSW program, UTA remains one of the top social work programs in the state and in the region. We offer classes in person on our Arlington and Fort Worth campuses and online. We've offered classes online for more than 10 years, and our faculty is experienced and committed to providing a quality online education experience. Our professors and graduates are well known nationally and internationally for their research and clinical practice experience, with many of our graduates leading agencies and nonprofits throughout Texas.
Greetings from Tarleton State University. We are very happy to be here. We want to congratulate all of the nominees and the awardees, even if this is a virtual celebration. That doesn't make your accomplishments any less, so celebrate. A little bit about Tarleton State. We're probably the best kept secret in the Metroplex. We have locations in Fort Worth. We have a standalone campus off of Chisholm Trail Parkway, but we also have campuses in Stephenville, Waco, and Bryan College Station, which is branding for our BSW program. Our MSW program is offered at Stephenville, Fort Worth, and Waco. We're a face-to-face program, and we've been fully accredited by the Council on Social Work Education at the bachelor's level since 1980. At the graduate level, we finished that process in 2018. I want to quickly share a unique opportunity for travel to earn continuing education. So I'll have a lot more details later, but this is an overview. We traveled to Costa Rica for a week. So this is study abroad for grown-ups. I can offer continuing education credits for the disciplines that are on the slide, and we really welcome all disciplines to travel with us. It's a one-week course, and the estimated cost is $1,500 plus your airfare. So it's a 1 week full of adventure. We live with host families in San Jose, and we visit agencies focused on women's and children's issues. These are a couple of my favorites that are on the slide, and I'll have a longer video that tells you more about it if you're interested. These are my tentative dates pending approval of travel. We have to see how everything plays out with COVID, but I'm really hoping that we can make this work. So a minimum of 21 CEs, and I do 3 hours of ethics. I give you pre-travel preparation, and then we have some awesome on-the-ground learning opportunities with lectures, visits to agencies, and some cultural activities built in. And then, of course, we have to have some self-care. So I hope you choose to reach out for more information. Once again, congratulations to the honorees. And if you want more information about our master's program or about the study abroad for practitioners, you can reach out to me at loya@charlton.edu. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks.